For too long, policymakers have prioritised the interests of the wealthy. It is time for a major pro-worker realignment. 6 great pro-worker policies can form the centre point of this realignment. A ban on big money donations. We need to get money out of politics. Elections should not be treated like auctions. Wealthy people should not be permitted to pour their wealth on the scales to dictate electoral outcomes. This behaviour incentivises political parties to prioritise the interests of the wealthy. And that is what we have seen. This policy will change the incentives. This policy will put the people back in control. We need a tax-free threshold funded by a tax on capital gains. Lower taxes for workers, paid for by rising taxes on the wealthy. This policy would incentivise hard work by making initial income tax-free. This policy would make life easier for students, parents who work part-time, and semi-retired people who work part-time. We need a targeted living wage. We need to force highly profitable firms to pay a living wage. Companies that make momentous profit should be giving their workers a share of that profit. Some work is by its nature low skill, workers are easily replaceable. This gives rise to low wages. But these jobs are essential. Condemning essential workers to poverty wages is inexcusable. Supermarkets that rake in millions should not be paying a minimum wage. It is time to make them pay people properly. We need to empower trade unions. We must reinstate the Fair Pay Agreements legislation. We must make it mandatory for employers to provide employees with sign-up forms for the relevant trade union. Trade unions are the solution to the huge power imbalance between workers and employers. Without trade unions, this power imbalance facilitates ruthless exploitation. Working people should not be powerless, they need leverage, trade unions provide it. The government should provide financial incentives for firms that are owned and operated by their workers. Firms with democratic processes and shared profits. Such firms should receive targeted tax cuts, low interest loans, and preferential contracts. It is time to expand our democratic values into the workplace. It is time to ensure that businesses are accountable to ordinary people. Businesses make increasingly significant decisions as technology advances. If we want to maintain democracy, we need to democratize these businesses. This will ensure that decision-making takes into account the interests of the people. Employment should not be defined by a degrading sense of powerlessness. It can be empowering. Workplace democracy will ensure that it is. We need mandatory profit sharing. Require that a certain percentage of company profits are distributed among the workers as an annual bonus. This policy would maximize the power of the profit motive by applying it to all workers. This policy would ensure that hard work is rewarded and encouraged. And this policy would give working people more money and put a dent in the out-of-control wealth inequality that plagues our society. This is a great pro-worker reform. There are countless great pro-worker reforms that are just waiting to be adopted. Many of them are essential and long overdue. If Labour adopted just a few of them, they could win the 2026 election in a landslide. Choose some great policies and make the election focus on them. Dominate the narrative, push the coalition into a corner, and crush them with an avalanche of pro-worker reforms.